and cast my ghost ashore. Put miles of open ocean between my cruel heart and yours.
People ask me about my songwriting process, and there's more than one answer. Sometimes something will just happen in my life, or I'll see something that just sparks my interest and I can't help but write about it. And those are just songs that come out and may or may not have any use, in the world.
Father, he waits, ever be stead. Cherry tree makes.
Lately, I've been commissioned to write. I write for theater, or I'm writing some songs for the North Carolina Symphony, and those songs all have multiple purposes. So, for example, when I'm writing for a show, for a play, I'm trying to set time and place. I'm trying to advance the story. I'm trying to create a mood. So there are all these different variables that go into the song, but then even within that context, I still have to find something about it that I'm interested in, some theme that I'm trying to illuminate. There's this place in the story where this couple meets, and then the next thing you know, they're having a baby. The baby is born. And Preston, the playwright, says to me, we got to kill time and change the scene here, past time, and a baby gets born, I'm like, well, is this a 9-month song? I didn't know what I was going to do. But I started thinking about waiting for my own daughters to be born. And it's been a long time since I've had a kid. My oldest child was 22. But I really remember, she was late, first of all, so I remember just thinking that every day, I'd wake up and like, is today the day? And I knew that our relatives and our friends, that we were all sort of waiting for the phone call. It was before texting and emailing and all that stuff. And that surely everybody in my street's probably waiting too. And then as you wait longer and longer, you start thinking of certainly the city of Winston-Salem and the state of North Carolina, and probably some, people out in the universe are also waiting for this because it's such a big deal. And it's so unknown, so I wrote this song called House on the Hill with that in mind. And it starts with, just this candle on a windowsill and this family that's up waiting at night, and kind of the concentric rings of who's waiting for the child and what that looks like. And all the way out to the universe, because I guess in a way I do believe that when a child is being born, that the universe is waiting for that child. So anyway. Usually for me there's some theme or story that I want to tell, but occasionally something will happen where I'll get a little piece of music that has a certain emotion, and the story will come after that. There's a bird called the white-throated sparrow, and it has this call that goes da 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 da. I can't whistle, so I can't whistle it. But there was a morning a couple of springs ago where they were just everywhere. The white-throated sparrows were just everywhere, and they were driving me crazy. And that melancholy little call just got under my skin, and I went and got my guitar and just kept playing that little lick over and over again. And right at the same time, a friend had challenged me to write a song about betrayal, which, there are 800 country songs about betrayal, but I wanted to write one from the point of view of the betrayer instead of being betrayed. And so that idea was coming around in my head. And then at the same time, one of my daughters was studying John Donne's No Man is an Island, that piece of writing, poem. And so really like in a half hour's time, I heard this little bird call, and I was thinking about betrayal, and Sophie was reading No Man is an Island, and I was like, I wrote The Island in a half an hour, because all those pieces just came together at once. This is called Leaving Eden, and I wrote it some years back when they closed the Pilotex plant up in Eden, North Carolina, and I was struck by the irony of a town with no jobs called Eden, and wondered what I would do if I were in their shoes. So this is called Leaving Eden. ways that melodies work and ways that certain chord structures under melodies evoke a particular emotion, and that emotion needs to match whatever the story is in the song. And often with the songs that I do that sound more like old songs, the tunings, like on banjo or mandolin or fiddle, are old modal tunings, and so those sounds end up affecting the melody and, you know, the overall sound of the song when it's done. Often I'll get like a little piece of the story that feels like it's the hook, like it's going to be the chorus or it's the line that I want to drive home. And I find a way to I'll just walk around the house, or I often just walk around the neighborhood with a tape recorder and just think about, I just sing the lines. And, you know, there are lots of ways to write a line that they look right on paper, and, you know, the beats work and the rhyme works, but they just don't sing, you know? And so you either have to change the writing to make the melody, to make it sing, or you got to change the way you're singing it, you know? So I spend a lot of time on the sounds of words and internal rhymes and things, so that there's nothing that you get hung up on, that you're just listening to the story and it's all very fluid, and the melody and the story go together.